turn to the latest on the Southport attack and the 17-year-old boy charged with murdering 3 girls and attempting to murder 10 others. The boy has appeared in a court in Liverpool. Now, he's seen here in an earlier school photograph and court sketches and can now be named as Axel Mugunwa Rudu Kabana after the judge lifted reporting restrictions. He's next due to appear in court in October. The 3 children killed in the attack were B.B. King, Elsie Stanscombe and Alice da Silva Aguiar. 2 of the other children injured have since been discharged from hospital. 5 others remain under observation, as well as 2 adults. Now, this evening and through over the weekend, landmarks across Merseyside will be lit up in pink in memory of the young lives who were lost in the Southport attack. Our correspondent John Maguire has spent the day in the town to find out how communities are supporting each other after the tragedy.
It should have been the perfect start to summer for Southport. Sunny days at long last, school holidays at long last, carefree days ahead. But then, Monday's knife attacks changed everything. This community has been severely tested, but is showing its resolve. Where rioters hurled bricks at police on Tuesday night, there are now ice cream vans, a local family business doing whatever it can.
Just for the community, really, for the children, just to put the smiles back on their little faces. You know, it's such a devastating thing that's happened, so we just want to make sure that everyone's coming together and supporting everybody, you know. It's just such a devastating time, you know, we've all been very upset about what happened, and, you know, them 3 little girls, you know, they just didn't deserve that, and the families, you know. Sorry, I'm getting a bit emotional now.
Businesses, local services, places of worship are all supporting each other and the families of those caught up in the violence.
What the churches are here to do, what all the agencies are here to do, is to help Southport be a place where something horrible happened and something beautiful came out of it. Because that was the word that the imam used this morning, the beautiful people, beautiful place. And if more people can think that because of the way Southport has responded to this, that will be a good thing.
The Stand Up for Southport website has become a focus for people.
People want to know how can they donate and how can they help, so it's a great platform for saying to people, come and see how you can make a difference to the people who need your help at this time. Fundraising, events, donations, just sharing thoughts. Sometimes as social media, you don't want to go near it, it's a vile place, but sometimes, as with this tragedy and the clean-up operation and people helping each other, social media is a wonderful place to be, and it's helping people to come together and help each other, and social media can be really, really a force for good. And Stand Up for Southport, people have really joined in, and all the messages, every time I turn on, you see a poem or a picture, or somebody's doing something, or somebody's offering something, or giving something. You know, it's fantastic to see, and I love social media.
In the quiet of the morning, there's a whisper in the wind.
Those with expertise or skills are offering their help. Jenny Wren, a musician and primary school music teacher, has written this charity song. She's been contacted by other musicians, including 12 choirs, all keen to be involved.
Always been dancing in the stars. Your light is still shining from afar. I thought, well, this is what I can do, this is what I can give. And I put a post out, and the response has been absolutely overwhelming. So I've written the song, and the next step now is to get all those musicians involved, and the local choirs and musicians and vocalists to record it. And we've been offered recording studios and producers and all kinds of different things to help us do that. And then we'll publish it, we'll get it out into the public eye, and hopefully raise some money and have some kind of anthem to bring people together as well for this tragedy.
As well as fundraising and practical support, there are symbolic gestures to pay tribute to the girls and their families. Significant buildings across the northwest will, from tonight, be illuminated in pink, shining light where there's been so much darkness. John Maguire, BBC News, Southport.
Yes, John's piece there very much focusing on the community, how they're pulling together, how they're supporting one another. But what we know, of course, is in the days afterwards, in the aftermath, there were riots, there were public disturbances. And let's talk a bit about that with Tiffany Lynch, who's Deputy National Chair of the Police Federation for England and Wales. Thank you very much for your time this morning. For rank and file officers, for police officers, who either were caught up in those disturbances themselves or for other officers seeing that happening. Can you give me a sense of the effect that has?
Yeah, good morning, Charlie. First of all, may I please pass on my thoughts and condolences with the families of Elsie, Alice and Bibi, along with all of the other injured civilians in this incident, and with our injured police officers from those riots and disturbances, of which we had 53 injured officers with 39 hospitalised. Coming back to your question in relation to how officers have felt being involved in those disturbances, officers know their role and they know that they have a duty to go out there and keep the peace. What happened the other night in Southport, what's happened across pockets of the country, they are not lawful protests. It is violent disorder. And we have skilled officers that are trained regularly for these particular incidents. But for what we saw, and certainly for what I saw when I was watching the news reporting on this, I was absolutely sickened. We had officers that were not fully equipped to deal with those disorders in terms of the equipment that they had, the protection that they had. And sadly, that's a reflection of how many injured officers that we've now had from this incident, which should never have happened.
Yes, I dare say you will have been listening very carefully to what the Prime Minister said yesterday. And he announced a new National Violent Disorder Unit. Can you give us what your understanding of what that actually will look like, how many people it will be, what it will do?
It's a good question, Charlie, and it's too early for us to say. We haven't been given the exact details on that. The first that we heard about this was the same time that everybody else heard about it, was in that press conference. It could be a number of things. My understanding from looking into more detail and listening back to the press conference will be that it's going to be based around intelligence-led policing. But where we have intelligence-led policing and where we have that investigation, we also have to have people. These units are going to need to be resourced, whether that's in those offices doing that intelligence work, or whether it's on the front line that are actually going out there and performing the arrests and bringing people to prosecution. The question that we will have is, where are these people coming from? We were told in Sakir's mandate when he was running for Prime Minister that there is no new money. So where are we going to get these resourcing from? The only way that we can get police officers into these units is by pulling them away from day-to-day policing, from neighbourhood policing, from response, and from other units. And effectively, the knock-on effect on that is going to be that other crime, other day-to-day crime, is going to effectively be affected.
I appreciate what you say about sort of awaiting detail on this National Violent Disorder Unit, only announced yesterday, and we wait and see. But I'm sort of reading into your answer that you're thinking maybe it's addressing the wrong problem, to call something a unit and say they're going to collaborate more is rather missing the point.
We accept more needs to be done. We need to be more proactive rather than reactive. And these incidents are pure evidence of that. So it's about the planning. It's about the putting together of what it is that 21st century policing is. We are seeing more on social media, and we've highlighted the issues of social media. It's a fantastic platform, but when misinformation and wrong information is put out there, it can become toxic. And we need to be able to combat that proactively rather than on the back foot. At the moment, we're swimming against the tide, and more needs to be done.
Tiffany Lynch, we appreciate your time this morning. Tiffany Lynch is the acting national chair of the Police Federation for England and Wales. Thank you very much.
Thank you.